Morning YouTube. I'm going to do a little bit of an unboxing and review of my, I believe, Series 2 Club Grayskull Masters of the Universe figures. Had this box for about a week and just been dying to get into it, but really wanted to make an unboxing review for you guys. So, without further ado, let's get started. Really wanted to do this before Dr. Nerd goes to nerd work. Alrighty. Oh, and also there was a little baggie taped onto this that had the extra Triclops head, which was a nice added surprise. Alright, let's start with the first one. Mer-Man, Tung, Lashor, Sorceress, and Man-at-Arms. Get rid of that. Alright, so I'm going to start with kind of my least anticipated to most anticipated. So as you can see, they come in the standard mailer box, which is nice. Opening it up, you can already see that familiar Club Grayskull box. Alright, here we got Tung, Lashor. Let's open them up, see what we got. So right out the gate, very Filmation accurate. Jaw is not articulated. I don't recall what episode the weapons are from. If somebody wants to leave a mention there in the comment section. Pop good old Tung Lashor out. Rubber bands at his feet. More. Alrighty, so please excuse the cat there. Cat, go away. I'm trying to become a famous YouTuber as well as a doctor of all nerds. Okay, so Tung Lashor, very cool. I'm gonna go with the Tung version. Well, alright. Looks okay so far. And we do have some quality control issues with some of Super7 stuff recently. Alright, so actually a lot better than I was thinking. Articulation's pretty standard, forwards, backwards, shoulders abduct out, rotate, internally rotate, externally rotate. Got flexion at the elbow, extension at the elbow. We got supination and pronation at the wrist, as well as flexion and extension at the wrist. Do have an ab crunch. Same thing with the legs. Abduct all the way, adduct to the center. Flex at the hips, extend at the hips. Kind of typical, very standard Mo2 Classics buck. Alrighty, knees flex to 90 degrees. Foot, we got dorsiflexion of the ankle, plantar flexion of the ankle. Let's see how his weapons fit in his hand. So one hand, they're both in both grabbing hands. Gun fits nice and tight in there. And again, I have no idea what type of weapon this is. Okay, so it appears that maybe it goes in this hand since it's a little bit tighter. Or not so much. Or maybe it goes on the back? Yes, that's what it is. It goes on the back, like that. Alright. Again, I'm not sure why he would have a jetpack. I maybe vaguely remember an episode where he wore it, but I don't recall exactly. Alright, so there we got Tung Lashor. And I'm just going to put these next to their Motu Classics version. Alright, so here we got the Motu Classics Tung Lashor and the Club Grayskull Filmation Tung Lashor. Very different figures, absolutely. I would say coolness-wise, Motu Classics. He's pretty darn cool. Club Grayskull-wise, very Filmation accurate and cool in its own respect. I don't know. That neck's pretty tight. Well, in all honesty, I probably won't be doing a ton of posing. I'll get him in one pose, put him up on the shelf, and that's pretty much how he stays. Okay, so these are our Tung Lashors. Very, very cool. Next up, Mani Faces. Let's check them out. Alright, nice card back guard there. It did come in the sleeve, it just stayed in the box. Obviously, as you guys can tell, I'm not a in-box collector. Honestly, all the boxes go in the recycle bin because I'm not a packaging collector. I used to, and it just was like, took up space. It was real junky. I said, nah, I'm done with that. Okay, off the bat, looks pretty good. If you get this, don't forget, there does come a little extra accessory there. It's taped onto the back. Let's see what we got out of the blister packaging here. Just like removing foreign body. Alright. Again, you guys are going to have to help me out. Dr. Nerd's memory is not as good as it used to be. And it seems like the more things Dr. Nerd has to remember, it's almost like I have to delete other things. So help me out with where some of these accessories came down in the comment section. Because while they look vaguely familiar, I don't exactly remember. Alright, well, out of the package, initial thoughts. Again, extremely screen accurate. Really digging them. Articulation is very similar to your standard Motu Bucks. The arm sculpts are definitely at least a modified tooling, as you can see the kind of armor and elbow pieces there. I've not seen this arm buck before, arm sculpt before. That would be my son in the background, because he wants to be a famous YouTuber too. Yeah, legs, thighs, joints are nice and tight. It is interesting that there's no double jointed knees. And it looks like the ankles are somewhat on a semi-rocker. I don't know, one's way tighter than the other. Alright, so again, help me out where this thing came from. I'm not really sure. Pretty cool little gun accessory there. I vaguely remember this from some episode, but again, y'all help me out. I'm not super sure where that one came from, and I think this is supposed to be a Filmation version of his gun. So let's put in some accessories. See how he looks, and then we'll check to see if his face rotates. Sorry, Dr. Nerd had to make sure his nerd children got off to school. Okay, so we were gonna see if this rotated somehow. There's no real mechanism that I can find on here. It lacks the little twist top that the original figure had, but yeah, I think if you can just push it with your finger, and we got robot face. Next one should be a monster face. Sure is. Kind of digging the monster face. It's close to Halloween, so let's leave the monster face on him for now. All right. So a lot of accessories on the mani faces. I appreciate that from Super7. I think it would be cool if they told us what episodes are from or something. So let's compare him to his Classics counterparts. Right, so obviously we have Classics mani faces and Club Grayskull mani faces. You can definitely tell a difference. Obviously the Filmation is a lot less detailed. You can take a look there at the different details of the monster face. Let's change it over to regular mani face's face. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky twisting the faces, but I guess if you can grab the nose, it's not too bad. Alright, so there we got your normal mani faces face, and let's compare the robot mani faces. Right. Robot mani faces is probably the most similar, but obviously still differences in the detail. Oh. So again, I kind of dig the monster face. All right, so there we got mani faces, this ton of accessories, and yeah, I'm digging them. I think they look really good. Let's move on to the next one. Next one up is Mer-Man. Probably one of my favorite villains when I was a kid. Thought he was really cool. Let's get him out of the mailer box. Alright, let's see what we got. Here we got Mer-Man. Spot on. Love it. Looks so cool. Back of the packaging art. Wow, they knocked this one out of the park. Definitely one of my favorite characters, done in an absolutely perfect Filmation style. Let's open him up. Really, really awesome. Loving it right out the gate. Pop them out. Oh, forgot about the rubber bands at the feet. So cool. So cool. Alright, so comes with his classic sword. Very nice. A gun of some kind. And again, guys, if you know which episodes these are from, let me know. Maybe if Mr. James Talk is a Dr. Nerd fan, you could perhaps post something in the comment section. And a spear. Alright, so this figure's a little bit different, I will say that. The armor is very soft plastic. Definitely it's got quite a bit of give to it, but overall done very, very nicely. You can't tell from the front, but on the back there is a little bit of that like neck piece to give him sort of that thick, squatty neck. Head articulates. Not a ton of extension to the neck. Pretty decent flexion. Oh yeah, these are kind of pointy, a little bit on the sharp side. All right. Other than that, standard buck with all of its typical articulation. Man, that wrist is tight. Okay, there we go. I'm always a little bit scared since the 5.5 Shira Hordak articulation incident of 2018, where if you look at my other videos, you'll see that the hips broke. A lot of people had that issue. Luckily, Super7 has started shipping out replacements, so I will do a video on my replacement Hordak and Shira 5.5 vintage style figures. Maybe later on today when Dr. Nerd gets back from nerd work. But yeah, the fuzzy underwear, also that same type of soft plastic. And again, just normal articulation, ankle, little bit of an ankle rock there. But I do appreciate that the ankle articulation point is more hidden. Now it does seem like the loin piece maybe hinders articulation just a little bit. It's not bad though. And honestly, I probably won't have him in any type of sitting pose. Looks like we maybe have some new feet. And well, I will say Super7 went the extra mile and actually sculpted on the bottom of the feet. So I always like those little extra touches, even though you'll never really see them, and they know that because these figures will be standing primarily. I like that they did it anyway. So big ups to the 4 horsemen. So let's put his sword in there. Again, not sure why he has a gun or why it looks the way it does, but hey, cool nonetheless. So we'll do a comparison with our Club Grayskull Filmation style Mer-Man compared to our Classics Mer-Man. So here we can see the Club Grayskull versus the Classics Mer-Man. Obviously very, very different, but still some of my favorite figures. I'm loving this Filmation Mer-Man. So cool. Spot on. Comparing the two swords, because you know the Classics Mer-Man can only hold one of his accessories at a time. So there are the two swords. But boy, they really knocked it out of the park. Now if you'll notice on the back of Classics Mer-Man, there is a place for the sword. No place for the sword on the Filmation Mer-Man. But I really don't care. I think he is just so awesome. This one really surprised me. I was looking forward to him, but Super7, 4 Horsemen, knocked it out of the park. So we'll move on to my most anticipated figure, which will be the Sorceress. I don't know what it was about the Sorceress, but man, back in the 80s, I think I kind of had a thing for her. Alright, standard packaging. Let's take a look at her. Wow. Very, very nice. Very happy with this one. Back of the packaging art. A little bit of a bio on the back. But we can read those later. I'm more interested in the figure. Alright, so straight out the gate we have her cape / wings. Very nicely done. So that would be for her arms abducted, like she's about to transform into Zoar. And here are the cape / wings for when she's more in a neutral pose. Now you can tell there are pegs there that I assume will fit into her arms. Let's see how that came out. Awesome. So awesome. I love the Sorceress. Don't ask me why, I just do. Now, if one of y'all could help me out and leave a comment down below and tell me who this is supposed to be. I can tell there is a slight difference. Yeah, there's a slight difference in the head sculpt, and obviously the hood has more of this blue accent there, which is, you know, its own separate sculpt. You'll have to excuse the background noise. It was just our little friend here, Henry. Say hi, Henry. Okay, you can eat your breakfast later. I'm trying to become a famous YouTuber. Okay, so back to the Sorceress review. Standard articulation. I'm digging these hands. I think those are pretty cool. It's almost like they're, I don't know, have like maybe shooting something out of her hands, like some type of magic spell. This figure is different than the Tila we got. She does have torso articulation. Again, she is articulated at the wrists in your standard directions. Legs, hips flex, maybe about 80 degrees. Knees flex, maybe just shy of 90 degrees. And then we have the dorsiflexion, plantar flexion of the ankle. There is that pivot there. The boots look great. And I will say this, and I kind of appreciate it, she is a little cheeky on the back end, you know what I mean? So, Tila's mom has got some back. Alright, let's check her out with this other head, which I know it's supposed to be someone else, but I just don't know who. But I'm going to go with the, I don't know, she kind of looks either shocked or scared or sad. So I kind of like the other one better. So we're going to put the original Sorceress head on. Now, there are some pegs on the forearms there, as well as in the back. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out with the wings, but let's just try it. Let's just put it on. So it looks like you do have to flex the neck a little bit to get that main peg up under her headpiece. And then the pegs fit pretty snugly, which is a pleasant surprise. You do have to externally rotate the shoulders a little bit, like that, to get the other peg to fit into her forearm. Try and give her a little bit more of a natural pose here. Looks like we may have some difficulty with the pegs, or it just could be a user error. Alright. Again, we'll try to rotate these out. It does seem like it's a little bit tricky to get the cape on in this sort of arms wide open, come here and give me a hug Dr. Nerd position. Try one more time and then we'll go to the more neutral position. Yeah, it's a little tricky to get this one on here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we got it. Alright, there you go. What do you think, guys? Looks pretty cool. Now let's try it with the arms down by her side cape. I'm digging that though, really am. Okay, so again, we're gonna have to flex her neck a little bit, get up under the headdress, put the peg into her upper thoracic region. Alright, and give her hands a little bit more neutral position. Again, pretty cool. Oh, I like it. Yeah, great job, Super7. Came out really, really great. Now, let's not forget our trusty little friend here, Zoar. There are some pegs and holes on the bottom of her feet. There is no articulation to Zoar. Strictly an accessory, it appears like. And let's see if we can get her to sit on her perch. It's a little bit tricky. I'm sure we can get it, but there we go. Alright. There we go. Very good. I'm really, really digging this figure. This one and Mer-Man, hands down, my two favorites out of the wave. Let's compare our Club Grayskull Sorceress to the Classics Sorceress. Alright, so here we got our Classics Sorceress with our Club Grayskull Sorceress. Of course, this was the biggest complaint were these kind of barrels on the back of her shoulders. They did the job though. I mean, when you would abduct her shoulders, her cape and her wings would flay out. So Sorceress, again, one of my favorite characters, favorite figures. I like them both a lot. Right now, I'm leaning more towards the Filmation Sorceress, and there's a pretty significant height difference there. You can see. Yeah. So classic Sorceress is a little bit taller than the Club Grayskull Filmation Sorceress. That's okay. I do have the Zoar that came with her, but it's upstairs, and Dr. Nerd needs to get to Dr. Nerd work, so I don't want to go upstairs and go get it. Obviously, the Zoar that came with the classics was articulated, had the armor. I really like the articulated wings, but as an accessory, this definitely looks more natural versus putting the classic Zoar with its wings out on a stand. That didn't quite make sense. So again, Super7 did a great job with this series. I really, really like it. Sorceress and Mer-Man, hands down, in my opinion, the best figures. Next to Skeletor out of the Club Grayskull wave. I really like those. Okay, guys, gotta get to work. I will do a review of the 5.5 vintage style Hordak and She-Ra Epic Battle 2-pack when I get home, if I don't have a ton of other stuff to do. Otherwise, I will follow up with you later.